Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're about to dive into a topic that is absolutely fascinating and, honestly, pretty overlooked: the secret impact your oral health has on the rest of your body.
So let me ask you this. Did you know the health of your mouth is directly connected to the health of your gut? It's true. Today we're going to unpack exactly how problems that start in your mouth can cause some pretty serious issues down in your digestive system. And, more importantly, what you can actually do to protect both. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the mouth. You know, we tend to think of it as just, well, where food goes in, right? But it's so much more than that. It's actually this complex, bustling ecosystem. It's the first of the two worlds we're talking about today. And get this, it has the second largest microbiome in your entire body. Isn't that wild?
And what's so fascinating is just how different these two worlds are. I mean, you'd think they'd be similar, but research shows the bacterial communities are totally distinct. Your mouth, for instance, is home to guys like Streptococcus, but your gut, that's ruled by a completely different crew, like Bacteroides. Each team is perfectly adapted to its own environment.
Okay, so if they're two separate worlds, how in the world do they connect? Well, here's the kicker. Every single day, you swallow about 1 liter of saliva, and that saliva is carrying, wait for it, trillions of oral bacteria along for the ride. And that's where this incredible and sometimes, problematic journey begins, all the way down your digestive tract.
And believe me, this isn't some rare thing. A huge study from Kyushu University found that almost 73% of adults had the exact same strains of oral bacteria living in their gut. What does that tell us? It tells us that these little travelers are successfully making the trip way more often than anyone really thought.
And the journey itself is pretty intense. You know, the bacteria start in your mouth, they get swallowed, and then they have to survive the ultimate challenge, your stomach acid. It's like a gauntlet. And yeah, a lot of them don't make it. But some of these really tough little guys actually survive that acid bath and make it all the way to the intestines. But, and this is a big but, this is where the trouble can start. See, when these oral bacteria show up in the gut, they're basically foreigners in a new land. They're out-of-place colonizers. They can totally disrupt the native ecosystem, start competing with the good guys for food and space, and create this imbalance that scientists call dysbiosis.
So, you might be wondering, what makes it easier for them to survive this trip? Well, research points to a couple of key things. First, just getting older. As we age, our natural gut barriers can get a little weaker. And second, and this one's a biggie, is poor oral hygiene. When dental plaque builds up, it acts like a bus, or maybe more like an armored vehicle, transporting a huge army of bacteria on their journey south.
And you can actually see the impact this has. Look at this. In people who had 5% or more of their gut bacteria coming from their mouth, scientists saw a noticeable drop in the good guys, the beneficial bacteria like Faecalibacterium. And at the exact same time, there was a big increase in the oral travelers, like Streptococcus, and even some other potentially not so great bacteria. It's a really clear shift towards an unhealthy gut.
Okay, I know this might all sound a little bit scary, but here's the good news. This is the empowering part. You are not helpless here, not at all. We can absolutely take proactive control of this whole mouth-gut connection. It's all about guarding the gateway.
That's right, you are the gatekeeper. And the big takeaway here is that by taking care of the starting point, your mouth, you are directly protecting the final destination, your gut. Simple, positive, consistent actions can make a massive difference in keeping both of these vital ecosystems in balance.
So, what's the first line of defense? It's simple, really. Excellent oral hygiene. Remember that plaque we mentioned, the armored vehicle? Well, by managing that plaque, you directly cut down on the number of unwanted bacteria being shipped off to your gut. It is the most direct way to control the traffic on this highway.
But what if we could go even a step further? What if, instead of just playing defense, we could play offense? What if we could actively populate our mouth with good guys, beneficial bacteria, like guardians, that help maintain a healthy balance right there at the source? Well, that is the whole idea behind oral probiotics.
So what are oral probiotics? Simply put, they're live, good-for-you microorganisms that are specifically designed to support your oral health. The strategy behind them is actually a cool scientific concept called replacement therapy. The idea is pretty smart. Instead of just trying to kill all the bad bacteria, you introduce a bunch of good bacteria that can outcompete them for food and space. You're basically replacing the troublemakers with helpful citizens. And the science on this is really solid. Researchers have already identified some of the star players.
This quote right here from a major review on oral probiotics highlights that certain strains of Streptococcus have some of the strongest evidence backing them up. And just to be clear, we're not talking about the bad strep that gives you a sore throat. No. These are the good guys, the helpful native strains that are supposed to be in a healthy mouth. And let's take a closer look at how these guardians actually work, because it's really cool. They each have their own special job. Some, like Aceralis, actually produce hydrogen peroxide to fight off the bad guys. Others are masters of what's called competitive exclusion. They just crowd out the troublemakers so there's no room left for them. And some even create their own natural antimicrobials to keep things in check. It's like having a tiny, microscopic security force.
So when you boil it all down, the main takeaway is this. That mouth-gut connection is incredibly powerful, and it all starts at the top. By creating and supporting a balanced, healthy environment in your mouth, in that gateway, you are taking a direct, proactive, and super effective step toward protecting the health and balance of your gut.
So, this brings us to a really important question. If you're serious about your health, if you're ready to really support this crucial mouth-gut connection, what's the next step? Well, I want to share something with you that I think is really important. It's a product called Prodentim. It's a unique oral probiotic that's specifically designed to support your mouth's microbiome, which, as we've just spent all this time learning, directly impacts your gut health. And right now, the team at Prodentim is offering a special discount, and they have a 60-day money-back guarantee. You can check out the link in the description to learn more and see how you can start supporting this crucial connection today.